light can enter into our eyes. So this opening or hole is called as pupil. And then eyelids. So our eye consists of eyelids. So this lens is a convex lens. So our eyelids is a convex lens. And then ciliary muscle. So the ciliary muscle, it can be increase or decrease the thickness or size of the eyelids. And then retina. So in our eyeball, the retina placed behind the eye, and the image formed on the retina. So and this retina consists of two light sensitive cells. They are cones and rods. So retina consists of two light sensitive cells. They are cones and rods. And then optic nerve. So the function of the optic nerve is to transmit the electrical signal to the brain. Transmit the electrical signal to the brain through the optic nerve. So this is the function of the optic nerve. And then finally blind spot. So the blind spot is placed in the junction of the retina and optic nerve. It is present in the junction of retina and optic nerve. And in this blind spot, the two light sensitive cells are absent. They are cones and rods. If image or fall on this spot, we can't able to see the image because there is no light sensitive cells. So if image fall on this spot, we can't able to see the images. So why this spot is called as blind spot. And then care. So how do you care your eyes? So first we must take balanced diet, and then don't rub your eyes. You must clean your eyes with the clean water. And then if you feel any problems in your eyes, you must consult an eye specialist. So and then defects. So some common defects in our eyes. So they are farsightedness, short-sightedness, astigmatism, and then presbyopia. So at first, farsightedness means the person he can able to see the distant object, but he could not able to see the nearby object. And this defect is corrected by a convex lens with appropriate focal length. And then short-sightedness. So short-sightedness means the person who can able to see the nearby object, but he can't able to see the distant object. And this defect can be cured by concave lens with the appropriate focal length. And then astigmatism. So astigmatism is a blurred vision. Astigmatism is a blurred vision. And then presbyopia. So presbyopia occurs only the old age people. This defect is also cured by convex lens with appropriate lens. Okay, so this is about the last class. Today we are going to learn about the Braille system. Today we are going to learn about the Braille system. Okay, let us discuss the visually challenged person who have eye defects and eye problem. But how can these people can learn about the world? Basically, we are learning in the classroom by listening to the lecture, by looking at the board, by looking at the teacher. We can understand, we can able to read the books. But what about the blind people? Here, a special person, her name is Ravi. So one of the person, his name is Ravi. system. The system was named as Viii system. So this system has 63 dot patterns. So like this system has 63 dot patterns. So this dot patterns are based on the embossed letter. Dot patterns are based on embossed letters. So by touching the surface of the letter, we can be able to understand what letter it is. So by the blind people can understand the words or letters. So the Braille system consists of 63 dot patterns, and this dot patterns are based on the embossed letters. So by touching the surface of the letter, we can be able to understand what letter it is. So the dot pattern include words, letters, word combinations, numerical signs, and so on. Okay. So this is about the Braille system. So who introduced the Braille system? Louis Braille. So in present system adapted in 1932. So the present system now we are following the system was adapted in the year 1932. This was also adapted by Louis Braille. He is a Frenchman. He is himself a blind person, but he wants other blind person to learn about the world. So he developed a system. The system was named as Braille system, and the system has 63 dot patterns. So these 63 dot patterns are based on the embossed letters. So by touching the surface of the letters, we can be able to understand what letter it is. And this dot patterns include letters, words, word combination, numerical sign, and so on. So this is about the Braille system. And then there are some aids for blind people to learn the word. So there are some aids. These aids are basically classified into two types. They are non-optical aids and optical aids. So aids means there is instrument through which they can able to learn the word. So these aids are classified into two types. They are non-optical aids and optical aids. This non-optical aids and optical aids are further classified into subdivisions. So first we are going to see about the non-optical aids. So this non-optical aids consists of visual aids, tactile aids, auditory aids, and finally electronic aids. So the non-optical aids consists of visual aids, tactile aids, auditory aids, and finally electronic aids. Okay, let us discuss the aids one by one.
So the next topic is Braille system. The most popular resource for visually challenged person is Braille. So the Braille is the most popular resource for visually challenged person. It is named after its creator. So the Braille system is named after its creator, Louis Braille. So the name of the creator is Louis Braille, and he is a Frenchman. The Louis Braille is a Frenchman, and he lost his vision as a result of a childhood accident. So he himself a visually challenged person. This Louis Braille himself a visually challenged person. So he developed a system for visually challenged persons. So in his childhood, that is Louis Braille, in his childhood, he lost his vision. So he developed a system for visually challenged person, and he published this system in the year 1821. So this system is named as Braille system. So the founder of the Braille system is Louis Braille, and he is a Frenchman, and he himself visually challenged person. So he developed a system for visually challenged persons, and he published this system in the year 1821. So this is the Braille system. This Braille system has 63 dot patterns or characters. So the Braille system has 63 dot patterns, from which each character represents a letter. So from this 63 dot patterns, each character represents a letter or a combination of letters. So common word or a grammatical sign. So each character represents a letter or a combination of letter or a common word or a grammatical signs. So these dots are arranged in cells. The dots are arranged in cells of two vertical columns. The dots are arranged in cells of two vertical rows of 3 dots each. So listen carefully, children. The dots are arranged in cells of two vertical rows of 3 dots each. So these patterns were imposed on Braille sheet. So this 63 dot patterns were imposed on Braille sheets, and it is very helpful for visually challenged persons to recognize words by touching. So this imposed patterns are helpful for visually challenged person to recognize words by touching, and it make them easier to touch the dots or raise it slightly. So this is the Braille system. It has 63 dot patterns or a character. So each character represents a letter, a combination of words, a grammatical signs, and a common word. So these dots are arranged in a cell of two vertical rows of 3 dots. So, and these patterns were imposed on Braille sheets, and it is very helpful for visually challenged persons to recognize words by touching. Okay, first we will discuss the non-optical aids. So in the non-optical aids, it includes visual aids, tactile aids, auditory aids, and electronic aids. Okay, now let us discuss one by one. Now let us discuss some optical and non-optical aids for visually impaired. Okay, the first aid is visual aids. Now tell me, what is meant by visual aids? So visual aids is nothing but it is a device. It is a device or a instrument which is used to improve our vision. Such types of aids are called visual aids. This visual aids can magnify words, and it can provide suitable intensity of light and material at proper distances. So it can provide a suitable intensity of light and material at proper distances. So visual aid is nothing but it is a device or an instrument which is used to improve our vision. Some visual aids like magnifying glasses, lenses, etc. So the next one is tactile aids. So the tactile aid is one of the non-optical aids which involve the use of touch. So it includes Braille writer slate and stylus. So some of the tactile aids are Braille writer slate and stylus. It helps the visually challenged persons in taking notes, reading, and writing. So the next is tactile aids. So the tactile aid is one of the non-optical aid which involve the use of touch. It includes braille, writer slate and stylus, and it helps the visually challenged persons in taking notes, reading and writing. So the next one is auditory aid. This auditory aid is also one of the non-optical sensory aid. It involves the sense of hearing. In the previous aid, that is the tactile aid, that involved the use of touching, but here in the auditory aid it involves the sense of hearing. So this is about the auditory aid, and some of the auditory aids are tape recorders, cassettes and many other devices. So these are the examples of auditory aids. So this auditory aids are helpful for hearing impaired person. So those person who are hearing impaired, that is deaf, this tape recorder and cassettes are very useful for them for hearing. So this is about the auditory aid. Okay children, so the next one is electronic aids. The electronic aid is also one of the non-optical aids. So the electronic aids such as electric calculators and computers, so they are also available for performing many computational tasks. So here closed circuit television, that is CCTV, also an electronic aid. So the closed circuit television, that is we commonly call as CCTV, is also one of the electronic aid. So it enlarges printed material with suitable contrast and illumination. So this CCTV enlarges the printed material with suitable contrast and illumination. So nowadays use of audio CDs and voice boxes with the computers are also very helpful for listening to and writing the desired text. So this is about the electronic aids. So I repeat, the electronic aid is one of the non-optical aid. The electronic aids such as talking calculators and computers, they are available for performing many computational tasks. And here CCTV, that is closed circuit television, is one of the electronic aid. It enlarges the printed material with a suitable contrast and illumination. So nowadays use of audio CDs and voice boxes with the computers are also very helpful for listening and writing the desired text.
Next, optical aids. Next is optical aids. This optical aids is further classified into 5 types, and they are bifocal lenses, contact lenses, tinted lenses, magnifiers and telescopic aids. So this optical aid is further consists of 5 aids. They are bifocal lenses, contact lenses, tinted lenses, magnifiers and telescopic aids. Let us discuss the optical aids one by one. So the final topic in this lesson is great achievement of visually impaired Indians. The final topic is great achievements of visually impaired Indians. Okay, let us discuss one by one. The first achiever is Helen Keller. The first achiever is Helen Keller, and then Divaka, and then Ravi, and finally Advani. Okay, let us discuss one by one.
So now her name is Helen A. Keller. So her name is Helen Keller. She is an American author as well as lecturer. So she is an American author and lecturer. She lost her sight when she was only 18 months old. So when she was only 18 months old, she lost her sight. But perhaps she is the most well-known and inspiring visually challenged person. The Helen Keller is the most popular and inspiring person for visually challenged. Uh, and she completed her graduation from a university. She completed a graduation from a university and she wrote a number of books, including the story of my life in the year 1903. So her name is Helen Keller. She is an American author and lecturer. She lost her sight when she was only 18 months old, and she is a most popular, well-known and inspiring person for visually challenged person, and she completed her graduation from a university and she wrote a number of books including the story of my life. And the next person is Divaka. He is a child prodigy and he has given amazing performances as a singer. He is also a visually challenged person. So the next person is Ravindra Jain. So he born completely visually impaired. So he is also a visually impaired person. He born completely visually impaired. He obtained his Sangeet Prabhakar degree from Allahabad, and he had shown his excellence as a lyricist, singer and music composer. So the Ravindra Jain is a lyricist, singer and music composer, and he obtained his Sangeet Prabhakar degree from Allahabad. He is a visually impaired person. Finally, Lal Advani. He is also a visually impaired person, but he established an association for special education and rehabilitation of disabled in India. He himself a visually impaired. Lal Advani is a visually impaired person, but he established an association for special education and rehabilitation of disabled in India.
Okay, children.